Application. An application is a computer program that provides the logic for computing operations. As we had discussed in the previous video, an application is one of the core elements of a data center. The application sends requests to the underlying operating system to perform read or write operations on the storage devices. Application can also be layered on a database, which in turn uses the operating system services to perform the read-write operations on the storage devices. Applications deployed in data center environment are commonly categorized as business applications, infrastructure management applications, data protection applications, and security applications. Now let us look at some of the examples of the applications. Some of the examples of applications include email, ERP or the enterprise resource planning applications, decision support system applications, resource management applications, backup applications, authentication and antivirus applications, and so on. The characteristics of the input and outputs generated by the application influence the overall performance of storage system and storage solution designs. Now let us see what do we mean by application virtualization. Application virtualization breaks the dependency between the application and the underlying platform, which includes the operating system and the hardware. Application virtualization encapsulates the application and the required operating system resources within a virtualized container. So both the application as well as the required operating system resources will be encapsulated into a virtualized container in case of application virtualization. This technology provides the ability to deploy applications without making any change to the underlying operating system, the file system or registry of the computing platform on which they are deployed. So if you are running a virtual application, it is independent of the underlying operating system, the file system or the registry of that particular computing platform. Now since virtualized applications run in an isolated environment, the underlying operating system and other applications are protected from potential corruptions. Sometimes some applications may corrupt the operating system files or some other applications. So application virtualization eliminates this conflict among multiple applications by isolating different versions of an application and the associated operating system resources. Now let us move on to the next core element of a data center, that is the database management system. Before that, let us try to understand what you mean by database. A database is a structured way to store data in logically organized tables that are interrelated. A database helps to optimize the storage and retrieval of data. Now this database is created, maintained and used using a DBMS or the database management system. A DBMS processes an application's request for data and instructs the operating system to transfer the appropriate data from the storage. So it is this database management system that processes the application's request for data. Suppose an application requests for some data to be fetched from the database. Now this DBMS instructs the operating system to transfer the appropriate data from the storage to the application. Let us move on to the next core element of a data center, that is the host, which is also called as a compute system. As we know, users store and retrieve data through applications. The computers on which these applications run are referred to as hosts or compute systems. So we can have physical hosts or virtual machines. A compute virtualization software enables creating virtual machines on top of a physical compute infrastructure. What this means is, you can have one set of physical hardware on top of which you can create a virtual server or virtual machine using a compute virtualization software. Examples of physical hosts include desktop computers, servers or a cluster of servers, laptops and mobile devices. All these are examples for physical host or physical compute systems. A host consists of a central processing unit or the CPU, memory, input-output devices and a collection of software to perform computing operations. Now this software includes the operating system, the file system, logical volume manager, device drivers and so on. This software can be installed as separate entities or it can also be a part of the operating system. The central processing unit or the CPU consists of 4 components, namely arithmetic logic unit or ALU, control unit, registers and the L1 cache. There are two types of memory on a host: random access memory, the RAM, and the read-only memory, which is also referred to as ROM or ROM. The input-output devices enable communication with the host. Example of I/O devices are the keyboard, mouse, monitor, etc. Software runs on a host and enables processing of input-output data. Input data is captured through the input device. The software running on a host enables processing of this data. Now let us see what is the role of the operating system. In a traditional computing environment, an operating system controls all aspects of computing. So operating system runs on a host or a compute system. It works between the application and the physical components of a compute system. It acts as an interface between the hardware resources or the physical components of a host and the applications that are running on a host. One of the services it provides to the application is data access. It is the application who requests the operating system to gain access to some data. The operating system also monitors and responds to user actions and the environment. The users can interact with the operating system, and the operating system monitors and responds to these user actions as well as the environment. It organizes and controls hardware components and manages the allocation of hardware resources. An operating system also provides basic security for the access and usage of all managed resources. It also performs basic storage management tasks while managing other underlying components such as the file system, the volume manager, and the device drivers. The next topic is memory virtualization. Memory has been and continues to be an expensive component of a host. So if we are going to purchase a laptop with larger memory or larger RAM obviously costs more than the one with a lesser RAM. That is because the memory determines both the size and the number of applications that can run on a host. So a host can run more number of applications if it is having more memory. Memory virtualization enables multiple applications and processes whose aggregate memory requirement is greater than the physical memory to run on a host without impacting each other. So even though you have a physical memory which is limited, you can run multiple applications whose aggregate memory requirement is greater than the physical memory that is available. Memory virtualization is an operating system feature that virtualizes the physical memory or the RAM of a host. Memory virtualization creates virtual memory within an address space larger than the physical memory space present in the compute system. The virtual memory encompasses the address space of the physical memory and part of the disk storage as well. So what this means is a part of the storage will also be treated as a memory. The operating system utility that manages the virtual memory is known as the Virtual Memory Manager or VMM. The Virtual Memory Manager manages the virtual to physical memory mapping and fetches data from the disk storage when a process references the virtual address that points to the data at the disk storage. So whenever a process references to an address that is the virtual address for the data that is present on a disk storage, it is the Virtual Memory Manager that manages this virtual to physical memory mapping and fetches the data. The space used by the Virtual Memory Manager on the disk is known as a swap space. A swap space is a portion of the disk drive that appears to be physical memory to the operating system. A swap space is also known as a page file or a swap file. In virtual memory implementation, the memory of a system is divided into contiguous blocks of fixed size pages. A process known as paging moves inactive physical memory pages onto the swap file and brings them back to the physical memory when required. So all the inactive pages present in the physical memory will be copied to the swap file and thereby freeing the physical memory that is available. So when it is required, only then the swap file will be moved back to the physical memory. This enables efficient use of the available physical memory among different applications. So your host can run more number of applications using this memory virtualization, which in turn makes use of a concept called as paging. The operating system typically moves the least used pages into the swap file so that enough RAM is available for processes that are more active. So the processes or the pages for the inactive processes will be dumped into the swap file so that the RAM is free. Access to swap file pages is slower than access to physical pages or physical memory pages because swap file pages are allocated on the disk drive, and as we all know, disk drive is much slower than the physical memory. The next logical component of a host is a device driver. A device driver is a special software that permits the operating system to interact with a specific device, such as a printer, a mouse, a disk drive, or any other hardware for that matter. A device driver enables the operating system to recognize the device and to access and control the devices. What we must remember here is that the device drivers are hardware dependent and specific to a given operating system. So they are hardware dependent and operating system specific. So device driver, it enables the operating system to recognize the device and to access and control the devices. Let us move on to the next core element of a data center, that is the host, which is also called as a compute system. As we know, users store and retrieve data through applications. The computers on which these applications run are referred to as hosts or compute systems. So we can have physical hosts or virtual machines. A compute virtualization software enables creating virtual machines on top of a physical compute infrastructure. What this means is we can have one set of physical hardware on top of which you can create a virtual server or a virtual machine using a compute virtualization software. Examples of physical hosts include desktop computers, servers or a cluster of servers, laptops and mobile devices. All these are examples for physical host or physical compute systems. As discussed in the previous slide, allocating the entire disk space to a file system, it resulted in underutilization of the storage capacity. So there was a need for some way to efficiently use the storage. So that is the reason LVM or the logical volume managers were used. The evolution of logical volume managers or the LVMs enable the dynamic extension of the file system capacity as well as efficient storage management. The LVM or the logical volume manager is a software that runs on the compute system, which is the host, and manages the logical and physical storage. The logical volume manager is an intermediate layer between the file system and the physical disk. So it can perform something called as partitioning and concatenation. That is, it can partition a larger capacity disk into virtual smaller capacity volumes. This process is called as partitioning. So partitioning involves splitting a larger capacity disk into virtual smaller capacity volumes. The reverse of that is aggregating several smaller disks to form a larger virtual volume, we call it as the concatenation. The process of aggregating several smaller disks to form a larger virtual volume, we call it as the concatenation. So the LVM, it can either perform partitioning or concatenation based upon the business needs. So these volumes, the virtual volumes, are then presented to the applications. So here we have two diagrams that explains partitioning and concatenation. So on the left hand side we have one large physical disk or the physical volume that is split into multiple smaller logical volumes. So this is an example of partitioning. Similarly, for concatenation, as you can see in this particular diagram, multiple physical disks or multiple physical volumes are aggregated together to form one large logical volume. And in both the cases, the logical volumes are made available to the applications running on the host. So this is the partitioning and concatenation. So both these are managed by the logical volume manager. The logical volume manager provides optimized storage access and simplifies storage resource management. It also hides the details about the physical disk and the location of data on the disk. That is, the location of data and the details of the physical disk is abstracted from the applications. The applications will not know what is the location of the data in the disk and which physical disk is being used to access the data. So the logical volume manager enables the administrators to change the storage allocation even when the application is running. So even when the application is running, the administrators can change the storage allocation using the logical volume manager without causing any disruptions to the ongoing business operations. Similarly, physical volumes can be added or removed from a volume group dynamically. Volume group represents a group of physical volumes or a group of physical disks. So the logical volume managers enables addition or removal of a physical volume from a volume group dynamically. The physical volumes cannot be shared between different volume groups, which means that the entire physical volume becomes a part of the volume group. We cannot have any physical disk to be shared between the different volume groups over there. So each physical volume is partitioned into equal size data blocks called the physical extents when the volume group is created. So when a volume group is created, so each volume or each physical disk present in that volume group is partitioned into equal size data blocks called the physical extents.